I'm hoping democracy is easier to find here than in the House of Commons, actually. So, you'll forgive me first of all, I thought the time was 3 minutes. So I have 3 minutes.
We're not going to limit you, Heidi.
Thank you.
As long as you moderate.
Have you heard that, Phil? He's changed my husband's heard that very wise statement. So it is 3 minutes roughly, but my question at the end is actually very, very simple. So everyone living and working in the wider Cambridge region knows we need a transport and a congestion solution. If we don't rise to this challenge, as I know we can, we are in danger of bursting the bubble that is our economic miracle. The City Deal has offered us for the first time a real opportunity to get to grips with the challenge, and I believe we can grasp it. But I'm afraid the current Campbell and Cambridge proposals are piecemeal, they're short term, and in my, residents' and businesses' opinion, they are way off the mark, driven by spending deadlines rather than strategic vision. So today I am asking the executive, the board, to pause and think again, and let's get this right. We have some of the brightest minds living and working in Greater Cambridge, and many of them have given up their time to be in this room today. And although I hope they will forgive me for saying this, they can make our work as public servants sometimes a little harder, but they do want to help. There are more imaginative, sustainable and effective alternatives being proposed, and we must work together to find that right solution. The solution must work for commuters and residents. It must support our economy today and tomorrow, be forward-looking with inbuilt capacity, and absolutely must complement other infrastructure projects. So looking specifically at the current recommendations, I am struggling to comprehend how they are still on the table. For months now, I have made it abundantly clear to the City Deal team that I would not support the route known as Area 1 South, or latterly 3A. While the value in connecting Camborne and Madingley Lodge is clear, and those routes are not so contentious, it is the remaining section of the journey from Madingley to Cambridge that concerns me. The consultation responses alone overwhelmingly reject this route. We've heard today that at a ballpark cost of £140 million, the benefit-cost ratio of 0.21 represents unacceptably poor value for taxpayers' money. It's well below the usual threshold for infrastructure projects of 2. The City Deal have already rejected other projects, for example the Haverhill Rail Initiative, on that basis. So why do we have a different set of standards now? This route also, as we've heard, has the worst environmental impact and doesn't even connect to the city centre. We are a powerful team in Cambridgeshire, and I believe some of the suggested alternatives are well worth exploring further. Light rail, park and ride perhaps at the Girton interchange. But we do this as a team. And for my part, yesterday I spoke to the Secretary of State for Local Government, Sajid Javid, and he has promised me he will look into extending our spending deadline. We are on the verge of a devolution deal, which will give us greater control over our infrastructure funding, and it will allow us to look holistically at transport solutions. Now, the City Deal money must of course be ring-fenced purely for the City Deal region, but we would be fools to press ahead with this scheme when access to greater funds and control are just a few months away. An email from Councillor Lewis Herbert to me this morning suggests the board do see the benefit of joining up these funding and governing initiatives. Please know that I would support you every step of the way. So today, I implore the board to stop wasting further public money by pursuing option 3A. Because it is public money, it is not your money, it is not the council's money, it is these people's money. And we are public servants, and we need to be able to look at ourselves in the mirror when we spend that money. We have to get this right for our residents, for our environment, and crucially our economy. So to my question, very simple, do you have the courage to go back to the drawing board? Because if you do, I am with you.
I'll make a comment on that. Well, we are working with the tools that were agreed in terms of the resources. We have identified right from the beginning that this route was a key route. It's where significant growth is included in the local plan. We are always willing to look at other options for connecting the West Corridor with high quality public transport. We are going to discuss this project this afternoon, Heidi. I don't think we're going to back off the fact that we believe that the core of the project it answers the needs of the Western Route, linking up with the A428. The choice of us today is to just basically, as you say, to say that all of the work that's been done is of no value, and I don't think any of us on this board take that view. We appreciate the teamwork that we have with you, with other MPs. As I said, I had a discussion not just with the members of the board, but with the leaders of South Cambridgeshire and the County Council. We are very happy and keen to talk to see if we can get this greater freedom from government, because that freedom would enable us to make different choices, different timings. At the moment, we have effectively, it's like being in school, that we've got an examination in 2019, and if we don't pass that, that is the rules that we're working to. If we don't pass the examination in 2019, we don't get further funding. We often talk here and people say, let's look at the Girton interchange, let's look at devolution. The money in devolution is very useful, but it's less per year for the whole of Cambridgeshire than the next phase of the city deal. So we have been given a sliver to start with, and then the funding grows. And at that stage, that funding is less than for the whole of Cambridgeshire. So that we would have £40 million a year, and the whole of this new devolution deal is only 20 million. So we're up for a discussion with you, and we're up for a discussion with the government to change the rules. But we cannot duck the fact that they've set the rules and no one's told us there's going to be change. This isn't a final decision. This is a scoping down of options. And if we were able to get what we believe is the right approach of government to understand that Greater Cambridge needs the strategic investments, not just the A14, but the Girton interchange, improvements to the A10, the A428, simply because of the importance, particularly when the economy is in considerable stress, of investing in the economy, and particularly rail. We get some great proposals for improving rail, for having a Cambridge and District Railway. We do not have the powers unless we can actually negotiate that, and some of that can come through devolution. So we're not in a position to say we will stop. We're not in a position to say give the money back. That is the position that we would be left in if we didn't deliver on some of the projects. But we are. We would be happy. We're happy to have as many meetings as we've had over devolution in London if it achieves what you have just said and what we want, to have the opportunity to review in a 10-year programme how to use 300 million rather than the current straitjacket of trying to spend £100 million effectively to enable that further money to come to us. You're very welcome to come back.
Yeah, if I could just respond very briefly. And I genuinely understand that hoops and the tight ropes you have to walk on with the city deal. But as I put the case as I did yesterday, the landscape is very different now. Yes, it was, a GCSE that we had to pass, but guess what? We've got an A-level next week too with the devolution deal coming. And the point is that gives us greater freedom. Yes, it's a smaller amount of money, but it's money that we can borrow against. This area is bursting with private investment, desperate to come in here. When we have that freedom that devolution will give us, we can be more creative. What I'm asking from you today is we all accept that we have to do something. I know our local plan is hanging in the balance, and we have to be shown that we have, we've considered options and alternatives to connect the housing where we want it, further out to the west of the city, get all of that. My point is, give us an olive branch, give us something that shows that you believe and you feel that it's inappropriate to waste potentially £140 million of the public money on, frankly, a vanity scheme when there are other schemes that are cheaper and have the same limited effect. That's why we still keep some kind of Camborne Cambridge connection on the table to debate, but I think we need to ditch the big, expensive white elephant, and that is what I'm asking for. And if you know me by now, Lewis, I will fight in central government with you. We might not win, but the small piece that we want to hear today is that you're not going to waste our public money here for the bit that we can control.
Okay. Well, just on the money, we're looking particularly at the section between Madingley and wherever we cite the Park and Ride and the city. We're not at this stage talking about the 140 million scheme. We are looking at the specific scheme at that half. And that's, I think, about 60 million. We're not denying that it's not a large sum of money, and we're not actually making a decision to press the button today. But we are going to discuss it.
But you could decide to dump one, and I suppose that's my point.
We could make that choice, but my position would be that in terms of actually the rules that have been set and the importance of this to the local plan, both in connecting the housing and in I would hope connecting West Cambridge, this scheme has significant value. Councillor Bates wants to add.
I would welcome the opportunity to discuss these matters with central government, with the Minister. We've got a devolution deal on the horizon. We all are aware of that. We've got a city deal which is a few years now older, with constraints. If we could have some flexibility, I suspect everybody in this room would welcome that, Heidi. Okay, I certainly would, and I know my colleagues would, because actually that's really where we need to be. We then can, as you know, and we can then borrow against devolution, and that may give us more opportunities. So, back to you, will you facilitate that meeting, please, on behalf of the leaders of this council, this city deal, and the leaders of South Cambs and other parties? Because essentially, I appreciate you've had a meeting, but a meeting is a meeting. Dare I say, I also like to see something in writing occasionally, okay, or an email or something. So will you assist us in facilitating those discussions with the Minister to see if we can all see a way forward as we sit here today?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Mark Reed for the Local Enterprise Partnership for the whole of the devolution area as well.
So in response to Heidi's position, clearly there is shared significance and concerns that the district does around...
Mark, can you speak up, please?
Sorry,
Can you-
sorry, my voice does carry rather well. So the LEP shares concerns about lack of vision, the LEP shares concerns with the business community around the proposed interventions, and we welcome the opportunity that Heidi proposes. We are working as part of the devolution offering. The Secretary of State is up on Monday to talk to us about that, and certainly has been mentioned to him that the city deal at the moment could perhaps operate differently. There has been frustration with the level in terms of its membership. My previous board member, as you know, resigned on the basis of concerns. So I think what we should do as a board really is accept your offer and work together to look to make this a much better solution.